And I said, yes, in 3 days. Now we start up with Sukkot, but it's been wonderful to get to be outside and to feel the wind and feel the dew and feel the sun. And then tonight to have, I don't know, I didn't count, 150, 200 people in the sukkah and outside of the sukkah to celebrate with us. And now to come in here and invite Bryn to help us lead tonight's service. Because we are going from Yontif, from Chag, from the holiday of Sukkot into Shabbat, we're skipping a lot of the service tonight because our rabbis of history thought when you get to Friday night, you really need a lot of prayers to get you ready to say the prayers. You need poetry and song to lift your spirit. Remind you to turn off emails and phones, to just sit here and be present. And it takes a lot to try to turn everything else off. And I thought, when you're coming from a holiday, you don't need all of that because you're already coming in hopefully a good mood and feeling moved by tradition and Judaism. We'll start at the bottom of page 5 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi-melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi-melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Zeichem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi-melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
Turn forward to before we turn to page 27, turn to the people next to you and say, Shabbat Shalom. If people next to you are people you came with, find somebody you didn't drive here with, that you didn't sit next to at dinner, and say, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Reach across that aisle. Now we're on page 27. Page 27, the special psalm for Shabbat. We'll start at the top with Tov Lehodot. It's good to take a moment of gratitude. Tov Lehodot.
Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר ולזמר לשמך עליון, טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
We'll sing the conclusion of that psalm. We turn the page to 28 at the red arrow, Tzadik Katamar.
Tzadik katamar yifrach, kerez balvanon yizgeh, shetulim בבית אדוני, וחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי השער אדוני צורי, ולא עוולתה בו.
On page 29 at the red arrow, Mikolot Mayim Rabim.
Mikolot mayim, mayim rabim adirim, mishperei av, adir b'marom Adonai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai 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 rai, yadarai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai rai, yadarai yadarai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai rai 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 rai, yadarai rai rai, yadarai rai rai rai, yadarai Eidotecha nehemnu meod leveitcha navakodesh Adonai leorech yamim Yadadaidaidai 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 Yadadaidaidai
About 70,000 years ago, human beings were just another animal on this earth. There were iguanas, and there were gerbils, and there were people, and there were cows. And that's mammoths and unicorns and who knows what else back then. And we were just another creature. And as far as we can tell, each creature could communicate with its own kind, so that all of the, small cats could all meow in a certain way and they knew what it meant. They had different meows or different barks or different growls based on what was going on. And so if there was some sort of danger above, they could make that noise that would alert their whole group, look up and watch out. And there was a different noise they could make that would say, look out, there's something coming from behind, and run as fast as you can. And we know this because scientists now can take a recording of animals somewhere in the world and take them to a different part of the world to the same kind of animal, the same species, and play this recording, and these animals will all simultaneously look up, or they will run to a tree because there's some sort of communication going on, even if we don't understand. But then 70,000 years ago, on a Tuesday at 3:15-ish, instead of just saying, watch out, there's an animal behind you, a human being said to another human being, remember that bend in the river where you and I grabbed water last week? I saw a lion there yesterday, so make sure you watch out in the future. It was the first time that animals could communicate something that was a little bit beyond the exact material. It wasn't just look out at this moment, but think of a time in the past and think of moments in the future, and how do we keep ourselves safe in the future? And this idea, these communal dreams, is what separated us those 70,000 years ago from other animals, that we could have communal vision and communal dream and communal fear. We could think of something far into the future, and that's incredible about us as human beings. And so we have these shared mythologies not as false stories, but as communal truths. Because there are certain things that we all know as human beings that we're trying to grapple with. And some of them, some societies think about, and some societies don't. And as Jews, we often think about who we are. I know whenever I talk, Samuel cries. I don't know what it is. High holidays, every time he's singing, oh my gosh, I get up here and talk, and he's like, stop, get the hook. All right, I'll try to, what? All right, exactly, that's the problem with human beings communicating, is sometimes we disagree with what they're saying. Dad's not playing. I know, I tried that one time, and it worked out really well. So, I'll start over the beginning. 70,000 years ago. So there are certain things that Jews feel a little bit more comfortable talking about, and one of those is what happens next. Is the fragility of life. And I'm not saying that Jews are better at talking about this than other cultures because of epigenetics, because I know that my great-great-grandparents were forced out of their town in a pogrom. I don't think that's why. I think it's because we have moments like that, we have weeks like this, weeks like Sukkot, where we are as a community for the last however many thousands of years trying to understand the fragility of life. And our culture realized that this is an important conversation for us to have as people, as families, as communities. And so our Torah gave us this holiday, our tradition gave us this holiday where for a week we acknowledge the fact that life is fragile. And some of us need this reminder and some of us don't. I talked to a friend of mine a few days before Rosh Hashanah. I wanted to see what the sermons were that she was giving so I could steal them and use them here because nobody would know. And she was sharing with me that over where she is in Florida, that it's scary right now. That there was a hurricane coming through which sparked tornadoes, which sparked fires, who by fire and who by water on the same day. And then I called her between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and once again their town was being hit again. And what that's like, because we know, we take a week and we dwell in this idea that life is so precious and life is so fragile. We spend days putting up a sukkah. We tie these tapestries to the outside of our house. We hang light bulbs or plastic fruit or paper chains, knowing that at some point during this week, and it happens every year, probably everywhere that we've lived, at some point during this week, a wind is going to come, there's going to be heavy dew, there is going to be an animal, there's going to be rain or sleet or something going on. And even where we live, in the most beautiful climate in the entire world, this morning our sukkah was half knocked down. There was glass shattered on the floor because a light bulb that we have out there must have hit the table or something. And so for a week, we live in this place of how vulnerable we are and how fragile life is. And it's important for us to sit in that and dwell in it, even though every person in this room knows that. Every adult in this room knows that. Every adult in this room has at one point or another gotten the phone call from a loved one or from a doctor, has watched the news, something has happened that has told us how fragile life is. And rather than ignoring it as Jews, we take this time once a year for a week to sit in this. I know, it's not just Samuel, we're better now. To sit in what it's like to be human beings. There's a program that some synagogues do called Death Over Dinner, where it's an arranged conversation to talk about our lives in a way that we so often don't. Except I think that Judaism generally does it better. We spend a week, 6 months from now, talk about what it's like to be free people and what it's like to not be free. And how do we live in that in-between? And for this week to think about what it would be like to not have a house. What would it be like to live among the elements? We are so lucky to live here and not in, so many other places in the world. And still, we're trying to figure out what's the one night of the week that we're going to sleep outside, because last night it got down to 60 degrees, and that's way too cold for us. And then at the same time, my family this week was putting together bags for people who don't have homes. So there is something in there. There's a water bottle, and there's socks, and there's food, because we know how lucky we are, and we know how close we could be to another life so quickly. And Sukkot is a chance once a year to remind us of how fragile it is. We try to mark these different occasions. We spoke a few weeks ago about how do you mark different points in your life, and what are the points in your life, what are the life cycle moments that don't have a life cycle ceremony? What are all these moments in our lives that we want to memorialize or honor in some way, and they don't yet exist? And here we're celebrating a bat mitzvah, this transition from childhood to adulthood. And maybe we're reminded this week especially how childhood is like a sukkah, how it's fragile and it's temporary. And if we're really lucky, we get to move into a more permanent structure. And Bryn has lived her life in this sukkah of sorts. It's this temporary dwelling space of fragility, of not sure what's coming next. And now at this ceremony, she gets to officially mark that she is an adult and she's going to start paying rent to live in her house. Is that, okay, maybe not, I don't know. We'll talk. But how important it is that we as Jews, we as people, mark these really incredible moments in our lives. Both because it's a reason to have a party, but also it's important to realize how fragile and how precious life is. And I think that these two ceremonies today remind us of that. Of a bat mitzvah reminds us how precious life is, how hard it is to raise a child, how Jimmy and Mindy spent how many sleepless nights trying to figure out with their firstborn what makes her sleep and what makes her eat and what makes her giggle and how to raise this. That way, by the time James came around, they were experts at this. And how precious every single day is. Then to celebrate this during Sukkot, a time when we realize how precious every single day is. And so I hope that this week, whatever stage you are in life, that this week you get to realize how precious every day is, how lucky we are to live where we do and when we do, because as beautiful as the sukkah is, in a couple of days, please God, we get to come inside into air conditioning and lights and walls, and what a blessing that is. And I hope that we're able to realize this blessing every day. If you're able, we rise. We're going to invite Mindy and Bryn to help us with with saying the blessing over the candles, knowing that it's our job to bring more joy and more light into the world. And so Betty's going to do, and anybody else can join too. Anybody else who wants to come and help them, say the blessings over the candles or just stand next to them at this beautiful moment. Their teachers and their friends and strangers in the community to just note how special life is. And the fact that another week has gone by and how lucky we are to get to celebrate something together. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, betzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Lehadlik ner Shabbat Shalom. We're going to stay up. You're all welcome to go back to your seats. Bryn is now going to lead us in the beginning of the evening service. You can remain standing if you're able. Page 39. We start with Baruch Hu here.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, El Havid kayam tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai,
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
Hama'ariv aravim.
Amen. On page 40 is a poem in this world of uncertainty, in a universe where we don't know what's coming next. Page 40, this blessing, this prayer and poem reminds us that the universe is filled with love, and being able to see the stars and the moon above us should be a reminder of the fact that there is constant love out there, and hopefully you can find love every day. We'll sing Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shokbeinu nasiya v'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla.
Ve'ahavatha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai. Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. V'chol levavcha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol meodecha, v'hayud hadvarim ha'ele, asher anohim metzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinem tam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, Beshivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vadere, uvshottecha uvekumecha, mutartam leod al yadecha, v'hayud letotafod beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha, uvisharecha. Adonai Elohehem Emet.
We'll come back together on page 44.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora deilo tosefel, nora deilo tosefel, mahalechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokeyam livnei Moshe, zeheli Anu ve'amru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed Anai rai adarai adarai rai 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 Anai rai adarai adarai rai 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 adarai rai 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 ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. We're on page 45, a lullaby that prays that tomorrow we can be strong enough to face the day.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ufros aleinu sugat shlomecha v'taknenu v'ta tova milfanecha Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai haporez sukat shalom Aleinu ve'al kol hamo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim Amen Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol hamo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al Yerushalayim Amen.
Another one of these universal truths is the fact that we need a break, we need rest. Call it what you want. We happen to call it Shabbat. We make it these 25 hours from Friday night to Saturday night. And it's a reminder for thousands of years that we need to stop once in a while. We need to stop with what we're doing. We can't always be on. We can't always be at work. We can't always be in that mode. And so we have Shabbat. Page 46 is the instruction from the Torah that it's important for us to take breaks. It's important for us to breathe. It's important for us to turn things off, to turn our phones or our computers off, and to just be present once in a while, to just show up for people with our phones off and be able to look people in the eye. So if you're able, we'll rise, we'll stand on our feet if they're working today, and we'll sing these words of Vishamru, thanking God that we have this opportunity once a week to turn everything else off and just be present.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ועלמא דברה קירותי והמליך מלכותי. והחייהון ומהון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולם מעלמיה יתברך. יתברא וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדל ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה.
תושבחתה ונחמתה דהמירן בעלמה.
ואמרו אמן.
Starting on page 47 is the individual Amidah, which is a moment of personal prayer and reflection. Some people like the words in the book in Hebrew or English or the poetry, and some people just need that moment to check in with themselves, to be grateful for where we've gotten. Just to note there, if you're following along in the book, there is an additional paragraph for Sukkot on page 50. When you're finished with this personal prayer, you may again be seated.
Use shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu. Use shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimrumav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimrumav.
Beautiful. We take a moment in each of our services to say Mishaberach, to say a prayer of healing. We are lucky in our community. There's a lot of people who care about so many others. We have a very long list of people we're going to read tonight, of people who could use healing. If you have names to be added to our list, if you want us to check in on them during the week, please let us know after Shabbat. We'll make sure to add them to our list and to check in with you or with them. You can sing along with us the words of Mishaberach, the melody that's written by Debbie Friedman and Drora Settle, in the inside back cover of our Siddur.
Mishaberach avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Stephen Ross, Menucha bat Necha, Shlomo ben Rivka, Rivka bat Sarah, Greg Watson, Yonatan Reuven ben Rivka, Lazer ben Chava, Harav Chaim Yaakov ben Pesha, Chava Fredel ben Iranoga, Naftali ben Devora, Meir Yaakov bat Gitta Brina, Yehudit bat Sarah, Moshe ben Yehudit, David Gould, Asa Luo, Al Sanderson, Shirley Rutkovitz, John Ogle, Ron Kadish, Richard Korn, Carl Weiss, Barry Perkin, Katrinka Schiffman, Laura Ziff, Karen bat Maya Root, Harav Masha Rachel bat Golda Leah, Maya Root bat Esther, Moshe ben Chana, Meir ben Fega, Yochanan ben Chana, Shlomo Lev ben Pesi, Rachel bat Fega, Mike Ryder, Yaakov ben Sarah, Betty Herman, Mari bat Sarah, Avram Yaakov ben Miriam, Yosef ben Brina, Chana Leah bat Alice, Reuven Michael ben Shirley, Shani bat Rachel, Pesa bat Blima, Michelle Bacon, Reuven ben Hyman, Avram Moshe ben Blumashena, Tammy Kessler Wakeman, Mike and Bobby Sachs, Yechezkel ben Avram David, Nachum Osher ben Malka, Michael Yirmiyahu ben Rivka, Rachel bat Chava, Yerachmiel ben Chana, Miriam bat Dina, Ainsley Holland, Madeline Bell, Orit bat Sivan, Tyler Berry, Benjamin ben Tova, Neil Heller, and Reuven Baruch ben Taibelana.
Mishem beirach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. Page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
בהלמה דברה קירותי והמליך מלכותי, וחייכונו ויומכונו וחיי דכל בית ישראל, ביעלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. אשמרה לעולם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה, ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ועלמה ואמרו יתקבל צלותון ובאותון דכל ישראל, קודם ובהון דבשמיא ואמרו יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen.
If you're able, we rise. Aleinu is on page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים עמם, ושכינתו זו מגבה מרומי, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. Ein od, ein od. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. This week of Sukkot, we note the yard sites in our community of Irving Gill, Molly Jokowitz, Lottie Schulman, Mary Steiner, Rosalind Tanner, Delvira Gartler, Rose Katz, Ruth Lazarus, Arlene Levinson, Harriet Weiss Oberman, Ron Shannon, Martin Spielberg, Julia Deutsch, Herbert Friedlander, Morris Hyman, Harold Kolber, Sarah Guler, Erwin Kreisberg, Rita Lazinski, Sharif Moradian, Esther Natkowitz, Edwin Scheer, Michael Silverstein, William Spiro, Robert Assail, Marshall Bernstein, Philip Cohen, Alfred Morris, Avram Perel, Abraham Stein, Israel Weinstein, Gloria Cohen, Leonard Goodman, Avraham Lederich, Malka Lederich, Yaakov Lederich, Moshe Lederich, Alta Lederich, Abraham Levy, Martha Smith, Thelma Smith, Casper Unger, Sam Alpert, Francis Licker, Samuel Renitsky, Elaine Sherman, Anna Zerlin, Jermia Zerlin, Laura Appel, Max Borman, Esther Comis, Hermione Green, Sonny Harris, Frida Honigman, Rose Laurie, and Edie Licker. May the memories be a blessing. Other names to add for this week? Donald Adler. Harry Friedlander. May the memories all be beautiful ones. Page 58 is Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. If you are in a period of mourning or you're observing a yard site, you're welcome to rise and join with us in these sacred words. Yitkadal, Vyitkadash, Shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Be'alma, Divara, Kirute, Ve'amlich Malchute, V'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uvchaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uvizman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Olam Olmei Olmaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Alev, V'yit Halal, Shemei Dekudasha, B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. May the one who makes peace in heaven bring peace to us and to Israel, and to that we say amen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 we have services in here, and at, what do you say, 5? 5 o'clock we'll do mincha in here so that Bryn can continue leading the service. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock we have Havdalah online. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's all Sukkot all the time. Thursday is Yizkor as part of our Shmini Atzeret service, and Thursday night and Friday morning we will dance again. We will eat and drink and sing and read Torah and start the Torah over again with as we celebrate Simchat Torah. It's usually a lot of fun, so come join us for that. And then the 22nd, just to note 2 more things. The 22nd, which is next week, we have Men's Club is sponsoring the steak and salmon and tofu and scotch and Torah and I don't know, whatever, aioli in the sukkah. So if you bring your kosher piece of protein, they will barbecue it, they will cook it for you, and it's nice. We learn together, we eat and drink together. And the week after, on the 29th, the women of TEC are sponsoring Dan Mizell coming to talk. He's the head of ADL locally, the Anti-Defamation League, to have a really serious and important conversation with us. So come to all. If you have questions, come ask us. Our president, Felicia, are you wearing a name tag? Felicia's wearing a name tag. We have some other board members who might be wearing name tags. Other people are just wearing name tags because they were here for dinner. So introduce yourself to somebody. We're a warm and welcoming community. So even if it's your first time here or it's your 1,000th time here, introduce yourself to somebody and say hello. We'll conclude in here with Adon Olam on page 211, 211, and then we'll go out into the sukkah if you can join us. And out in the sukkah, we'll do Kiddush and Motzi out there. Bryn will help lead it, so we'll go out there quickly, and we'll do that so we can have a little bite to eat together.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra liyed nasa v'chefso kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שנים להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמצרה והוא אלי וחיים גואלי וצור חבלי ויצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ויומק רע וידו auf Kidruchi, ve'edishan ve'ahira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li, ve'lo ira.
Thank you to Mariano and Noam and Betty and Bina Leah. Esther Koch, beautifully done. Come join us in the sukkah so we can say Kiddush quickly and we can schmooze and have a good time.